Hey guys, what's going on? Today I'm going to be talking about 5 money lessons we can learn from the hit Netflix series Squid Game. If you haven't watched Squid Game yet, aka 오징어게임, it revolves around 456 players drafted from different walks of life, but each deeply in debt. They all play a series of children's games with a chance to win a $38 million cash prize. The catch here is if they get eliminated or lose, they will die. The series portrays 6 games and the events that happen within. If you haven't watched Squid Game yet, there's spoilers ahead, so please go watch the series and come back to this video right after you're done. Let's get into the 5 money lessons. Money lesson number 1, avoid gambling. According to casino.org, world gambling statistics show that 26% of the world's population gambles regularly. This equates to 1.6 billion people. The biggest issue here is casinos exist because the casinos net a profit from all of the players. The house always has the advantage and players are most likely to lose money in the long term. In the first episode of Squid Game, we can clearly see that Ji-hoon is a gambling addict. Throughout the episode, we can see that Ji-hoon bets a lot of money on horse racing, which is a high-risk type of gambling. He even goes out of his way to steal money from his own mother to fund his gambling addiction. Luckily for Ji-hoon, he does eventually win around $4,000. As soon as he wins this money, Ji-hoon can only think about spending it. This can clearly be seen as a money problem, as he has no thought of saving or investing even a slice of his earnings. It's people with this type of mindset that end up being stuck in this endless cycle of addiction, gambling, and money problems. Throughout the episode, we find out that Ji-hoon wants to buy a present for his daughter for her birthday. But after gambling away all his money on horse races, he has to borrow $10 to buy his daughter a birthday present. But instead of buying her a birthday present directly, he decides to use that $10 at a claw machine to see if he can gamble his way to get a present. Ji-hoon really has no end to his gambling lifestyle, which leads him to play in the Squid Games. Lesson number 2. Don't drown in debt. Did you know that in Q1 of 2021, the average American household debt was $52,000? All of the contestants in Squid Game were deep in debt. The reason they decided to join was because of this debt and their lives being hell outside in the real world. Carrying all of this debt, they had no choice but to risk it all, including their lives, to join Squid Game and have a chance at winning the cash prize. Avoiding the debt trap is the best way to relieve yourself from this type of stress. Lesson number 3. Don't have too much greed. Throughout the series, we learned that Sang-woo was so greedy that he embezzled his own company's money to invest in stock options and futures. For those of you that don't know what options and futures are highly risky investment strategies that ultimately bet that a stock will either go up or down by a certain time. If your bet is wrong and the stock goes the opposite direction, you lose all your money. Sang-woo's character perfectly portrays that people who are too greedy end up hitting rock bottom most of the time. Throughout Squid Game, we can see that all the contestants are really greedy and want to win that $36 million. They would even go to the lengths of killing people to fulfill their own greed. Don't get me wrong, ambition is great, but steer away from having too much greed. Lesson number 4. Diversify your investments. This is another great point portrayed by Sang-woo. As mentioned before, Sang-woo invested his money into one single type of investment, which ultimately led to his debt, which resulted in him participating in Squid Game. He poured all of his money into one type of investment instead of diversifying, which decreases the amount of risk. It's always important to diversify your investments, as if one investment falls, then your others keep you afloat. There's an ironic point in episode 3 where Sang-woo tells Ji-hoon right before the 달고나 game, the first rule of investing is to not put your eggs all into the same basket. This is super ironic as Sang-woo himself has lost all of his money doing the complete opposite. Lesson number 5. Value time over money. All of the participants in Squid Game are people who are in dire need of cash. To them, money is the only thing on their mind, as their lives seem miserable without it. Because they're in these dire life situations, they decide to join the Squid Game to gain money in exchange for their time. But these participants are neglecting the fact that time can be more valuable than money. If these participants exchange time for money, they lose the opportunity to spend time with their loved ones, their friends, their family, and also lose the opportunity to create memories. Valuing time over money can go a very long way, as you can always make more money, but you can never get your time back, or in Squid Game, your life. So what can we learn from these 5 money lessons? Well, first, pay off all high interest debt as soon as possible, as a debt-free life will give you much more freedom and opportunity. Second, you want to become financially literate. Knowing how to manage your personal finances properly will increase the likelihood of your financial success. And lastly, invest, invest, and invest as soon as you can. The earlier you invest, the more time is on your side, which ultimately equals more growth. Good. Thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. I really hope you learned something. If you did, please feel free to like this video and subscribe for more future content, as I'll be covering more personal finance strategies that will benefit you at no cost. Thank you so much for watching again. As always, your life is a masterpiece. So let's get it. Catch you in the next video. Peace.